Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Randy and we are playing some more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Last time we left off, we had like the very sketchy picture of our client supposedly going to kill the victim. I forget names because that's just what I do. Let's move this back for voices. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That's his name. That's what his name was. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. How do I still remember? It's been a while since I filmed and I'm like, yeah, Phoenix Wright is nothing but knockoff Rengoku. And I'm like, okay, let's boogie. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio One at Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to the fact. I see. Very well. I'd like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I call most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. God, I don't think I could still do this voice. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio. See, why does he sound like a villain henchman now? I don't know. This here's the employee area. The actors did a run-through on their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studio. The security lady that works at the studio was here 1 p.m. on that day. That got real country. Past this security station there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here... God, I'm genuinely forgetting how to do... And here it is, Studio 1. This is getting the weirdest country and wannabe 20s mob boss. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, that got real country. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. Wow, she doesn't even get a name. It's and Villager B. The production staff were in the employee area till noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to the Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead later that day, 5 p.m. That hit country. Production staff came to the Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was canceled. Time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was a murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to that whole thing again? I'm gonna skip it because I don't think, like, it's stuff that we know. And I don't think we can poke holes in it. I'm gonna double check though. I wanna just make sure. Okay. I'm gonna listen to it again because I need... Gumshoe literally calls this mentally challenged. Once more, we're mentally challenged. Oh, man. I had to show that. I don't know why, but I was like, whoo. We can always listen to it again for the 4th time. But nah. I think I could probably remember that. I knew it the first time, but I didn't know if we could poke holes. And then I was like, no, I need to show what Gumshoe says. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. And now we have the samurai spear. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Will the witness state her name? Wait, what's her name? Genuinely old bag.
My, aren't you a handsome fella? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered.
Your name, please.
Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma.
Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their name. Get your head out of AO3 right now.
Wendy Oldbag, dearie. So just call me Grandma. It's practically my name. Even when I was young, I was an Oldbag. See how the other children would make fun of me in the name? Can you believe it? But there was this boy, the captain of chess, called me an Oldbag, and I just cried.
Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I cannot keep up with you.
I was just getting to the good part, dearie.
Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct?
Yes, see, I was.
And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you.
You know your stuff, dearie.
You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. Okay. Arrived at the guard station at 1. Hammer had been Russ has been doing a run through there since morning. Had errands. It was 1 when I got to the station. I was there until 5. Murder happened at 2:30. A certain man walked by at 2 p.m. It was Powers, the man right there, and he was headed to the studio. You can't. Yes, Your Honor. I forgot. Yeah, we're doing the cross-examination. Let me look. I'm not doing anything for this. Okay, so that was 2 p.m. Okay. There's something I want to press because she doesn't know that it's him. Like, she doesn't know it's him because he's... I'm gonna press this. It might be the other... So you saw Mr. Powers.
That's what I said. Stop waxing your ears, Sonny. Nick, this is your chance.
Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon.
I'll say it again. It was him.
Okay.
You can't tell from the picture that it's him, though. Because when you look, it's just him in his outfit, but it's very noticeably off.
Let me get this straight, Mrs. Oldbag. You've been saying since yesterday you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than a steel samurai, defender of Neo-Old Tokyo. Miss Oldbag, is this the Mr. Powers that you saw?
Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right?
No, they can't! Well, I mean, I wonder... True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai.
I know that. I wasn't born yesterday.
No one in this courtroom is accusing you of that, witness. He's having trouble calling her old bag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you?
Nosy old man. Of course I have proof.
There's something so fun about, like, surprised Edgeworth. There's just something so fun about him. The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time.
How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me, this isn't any good as evidence, pal. And you give it a second look.
Wow, old windbag is even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof then. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. The morning during the run through the action scene. Saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Dragging his... It looks like the outfit's just too tall. So he sprained his ankle very well. You mean she's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. Wait, hold on. Okay. I want to press this so badly. I want to press this so badly. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. Everything is... Mr. Wright, please, for all our sakes, try not to upset the witness. I think Edgeworth has met his match.
But she wasn't there. She came at 1.
Powers, Hammer. What exactly were you doing? Observing. What about the assistant? So the assistant didn't see the run through.
But technically she says that she got there at 1. That's not morning.
Broke one of the...
But it also looks like he's dragging 2 legs. It doesn't... Like, it looks like if both of his heels...
I want to press this. The nap. So I'm dragging his foot.
It looks like he's dragging both of his legs, though. Both of them.
So he was walking strangely because he was injured. Does look like he's...
See? And you didn't trust me. It looks like he's dragging his foot. Looks like he's dragging both of his pants because it's not big enough.
Broke a bra?
Sure did. His own samurai spear.
The murder weapon?
Luckily, I was there with duct tape to fix it.
Strikes me as a significant detail. I better write this down in the court record.
Wait.
Oh, I think we've heard enough, haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there's one thing that bothers me, which is... Where's the samurai steel costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the steel samurai, yes? And it is clear that the person in the steel samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. You sure, Your Honor?
I'm gonna object, because, again, my thing is if it was broken, how the fuck would it have stabbed through the fucking body? It doesn't make sense.
Hold it right there. We'll keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the steel samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also. And then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please?
No need to ask twice.
Okay. 2:30 p.m. The only person I saw go to the studio. No one else went there. I would have seen... So if no one else went to the studio, then it had to be the Steel Samurai.
But he didn't we take his card?
Hold on, let me double check something.
Because if you have to have the... You have to have the key. Didn't we have Powers' key? I'm gonna press this.
What about before you got to the guard station?
You mean before one?
Why?
Again, what? I guess unless she ate before she started working, or was in the employee area, and I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them.
She's balls, or well,
You know what I mean.
old windbags have a way of skipping over important details after all. Or for that matter, entirely forgetting them.
How convenient.
Something for you to look forward to, perhaps.
Okay. Here's my thing. How would he have been able to get into the studio if we have his card key? I'm gonna present this because we have his card key. It was in his bag. I'm gonna try this. I don't think it's gonna work.
Oh, that statement contradicts this evidence. It does? I don't see anything contradicting.
Damn it. Okay, but in theory, it works. There's nothing I can press on this. We'll press. Didn't I just explain I gave donuts to the young detective and then, after some being a secret pal, told me everything. Okay. I think we pressed that. I don't know if we pressed this. Did we press this?
Are you
Edgy?
Okay, hold on.
Oh, okay. So there's one thing that I forgot.
This is photo number 2, not photo number 1. Had to look that up. I forgot about that. Hold on. Look at this. God. If I wanted to be a better editor, I would definitely put the Nickelback theme meme in. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken at the camera at the gate for the studios, correct?
Yes, sirree, Sonny.
So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture?
And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. I thought she was gonna say her ass.
Right, anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data.
Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening.
That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are printed the words, October 15, 2 p.m., photo number 2.
Even I know that means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October 15th. Really, Sonny?
Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2. The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo? Order. Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not one, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only data for one of those photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access. The security lady herself.
You watch your mouth, you whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers.
But the camera on the gate fired twice, which means 2 people went by.
Well, yes, that would... what it would seem to me.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
I don't understand these newfangled computer things.
Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either.
So, Help you are, you're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper?
Something the matter, Miss Oldback?
Ah, that's right. I just remembered something.
Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai.
Well, I suppose you could put it that way.
I see. Your testimony, please. I have one important job to do. Go through the photos and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking. So you determine what's suspicious and what isn't. Come to think of it, I remember throwing out one photo that day. Miss Oldback, this is the first I've heard of this.
Oh, well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it.
Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin your cross-examination.
Well, I'd say this was an term for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this.
Okay. I think this is it. How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking?
Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces for the most part.
For the most part. This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag.
Well, I didn't touch that suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I?
I think she's missing the point. I remember throwing...
But they didn't...
Well, who in the heck was in that photo you erased?
Fanboy.
Fanboy.
The Steel Samurai fanboys. Real freaks, if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging them out. One was there that day.
Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in?
I locked the main gate so no one could get in.
Those were your words.
Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate has been loose for a while and leads outside. Well, that's where they come in.
They come in through the drain.
I told you they were freaks. Oh, and? They're kids, children, whippersnappers.
Kids? So on the photo that you erased...
That was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What?
Order. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade.
Oh, yes. Well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him. Can't catch him.
A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy.
Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased it out of... Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy's there. That makes him a suspect.
Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. Mr. Powers. Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping. Honest.
So, who was the Steel Samurai in the security photo?
How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really.
What? You should take better care of that stuff.
I couldn't imagine anyone who would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now.
Nick! What are we gonna do?
First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this.
Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day.
Right. And if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey, Nick. It's time.
Okay, let's go. Please don't sign like that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studio was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there's still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claims. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Joe, can we get a 10-year-old kid for death penalty? That'd just be funny. Let's just put like a kid on the witness stand and they just need like a booster, like a little stool. Let's hear what you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not kindly look on accusing the innocent. I think this is like number we've had 3 incidences of you accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you'll be penalized. Right. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So who is the person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder? I don't want to say the assistant, but I'm going to say the assistant. I'm going to say the assistant, because the security lady's going to be like, I have proof that I wasn't there because she was working. The grade school boy doesn't make sense. So I'm going to say the assistant. It was the assistant. The Steel Samurai costume was in his dressing room. She stole it and doing so became the Steel Samurai. So you're saying the Steel Samurai in the picture is really the assistant. That's correct, Your Honor. Did I fuck up? If you're serious, you've got guts, Mr. Wright. Remember the photo? Wasn't the Steel Samurai a little lame? He was dragging his foot. Oh, bad feeling time. Remember the testimony concerning Powers' injury. What about the assistant? The assistant knew nothing of his...
It doesn't look like he's limping. It looks like the costume's too big.
She could look the Steel Samurai look with that costume. If she couldn't walk the Steel Samurai walk, she wouldn't have limped. That kind of takes the leg out from under that case. Okay, that's fine. I'll take the penalization. Nobody knows the troubles I've seen. Oh, okay.
Again, it doesn't look like he's limping. It looks like the outfit's too big.
But fine, we'll blame her. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag.
Who?
The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in the picture.
It just looks like the outfit's too big. It doesn't look like he's because both the legs. Am I crazy?
That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injuries. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person in Powers and Hammers who knew about the injury. The security lady Oldbag.
What? Whippersnapper.
Order. Hey, is this true, Oldbag?
Oldbag? It's Mrs. Oldbag.
Mrs. Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal Steel Samurai costume and slip into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright.
Both the legs are messed up. It's just...
It's gonna bum me. Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby! That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump with an objection and some new damning evidence? No, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. He's just like, I want her out of here.
Oh, so you all think I did it? Edgy boy, don't you just sit there, do something.
What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way? I'm pressing further. I want to put this old lady in jail. The same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers the suspect in the case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day.
Why would I do something so horrible to the poor Hammer?
You forgot that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope.
Wait, just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased.
He's only in grade school though, as you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it?
That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops.
Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer.
What? How can you be so sure? Or is it nice to be Or is it to be nice to the kids and mean to your elders? Stay, whippersnapper.
I have proof.
Proof?
Indeed. Let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder?
He doesn't have a key.
Neither did Powers. The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studio have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The Windbag, speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy. What's her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. And the prosecution will look further into this Oldbag before we continue. That is all. The court is adjourned.
Oh, wait a second.
Sorry, I love this music.
I'm not just gonna sit here while you run off and bark up the wrong tree. Me? I'm talking.
Oh, great. Stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Again?
Actually, if you must know, there is something I was told not to talk about.
Not to talk about? Huh. You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. I know this episode's going long, but it feels weird to cut it. Global Studios, there were other people at the studio on the day of the murder. They had nothing to do with it. So they told me to pretend they hadn't seen anything at the studio. But if you're gonna go accusing me, I'm not gonna let it go scot-free. Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why keep this from the court until now?
Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told.
No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the Oldbag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Let me look and see what we have. What's this? Who were these people?
Well, the director and the producers, for starters.
The director. We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course.
Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it.
So where were these people?
The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime, and they had a meeting after that.
Where?
Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer.
Studio 2? There was the Studio 2?
Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate all the way to the left.
The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue this cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions. And I think that's everything. Let me double check. Yeah. There's nothing else we have. Your Honor, we have learned that there were others at the Global Studio on the day in question. The director, the producer, and their, some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it's impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends this day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. The court is adjourned. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me.
Oh, really? It's nothing. Or should I say...
We'll be going down to the studios to do more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. Why didn't Will say anything about that? Now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination.
So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was in that Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been old Windbag?
What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really.
Neither do I, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying us time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers.
Poor old Windbag. I kind of feel sorry for her.
Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios.
Right. We'll be back to visit you soon.
Thanks, guys.
And that's gonna be it for this episode. I know it's a little bit longer, but again, it's like just long enough where it's more than one episode, but it's like not long enough to be two. So, next time we will be continuing in the investigation into the Steel Samurai. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.